I'm just gonna keep going and hope for the best. Yeah, that was quite odd. Well, let's go ahead and get started. Let me just switch some things around over here. Now, where do we normally start, or where do I normally start with all this rooting stuff? Well, I have my device here. This is the Pixel 7. This cable is actually connected to my laptop, so I can show you guys what I'm doing. So, I guess it'd be better if I actually show you the screen on my phone. Let me go ahead and try to do that. Alright, there we go. Here we are. My Pixel 7 on screen right now. Now, what do we need to do on this before we even think about rooting? Well, here, I already have developer options enabled on here, but if you don't have those options enabled, you have to go to About Phone, scroll down to the build number. You have to click on it several times until it tells you that you are a developer. Now here you're seeing a message that says that there's no need since I'm already a developer. That's because I already did this beforehand. Now if we go to developer options, it should be under system, developer options. Then we want to enable OEM unlocking. That will allow us to unlock the bootloader. Now, this works for my device because I purchased my device directly from Google. If you purchased it from your cellular phone carrier, you might not have this option. It will be available to you normally if you fully pay off your phone from the carrier. So if you're paying a monthly fee for it, most likely this option will always be grayed out until you fully pay for it. And then there's some carriers like I think Verizon and AT&T. They're kind of bastards about this. Even if you fully pay it off, you won't even have this option. No, excuse me, guys. Looks like I have a visitor over here. Hey, Dean, what's going on?
You got your hat.
My hat?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think I needed a hat tonight. I'm not even outside.
It's in the bed.
Okay. Well, I can put it on for a little bit.
Look at you.
Here, want to come sit for a bit? Ah. All right, here's the guy that keeps showing up in all my streams.
I can see you.
Yeah, you can see yourself. All right, hey, if you want to go to bed, you can go to bed with mommy, okay? Daddy's just doing some random stuff over here.
You're gonna come in bed.
Eventually, yeah. You want the hat back?
No, please.
You sure?
You can have it.
Okay. Hanging off to the side over here. Right, sorry about that, guys. You know how I do. Live events, no editing allowed, or mostly no editing allowed. Okay, so I was talking about OEM unlocking. Back to that. Yeah, if you're financing your phone, most likely you won't have this option. But once you fully pay it off, normally you should have those options, unless if you're with Verizon or AT&T. And then there's the other setting we need to enable is enable USB debugging. All right, now that those two are enabled, I can work on unlocking the bootloader. Now, we have to unlock the bootloader so I can load a patched boot file there, and that will allow us to have root with Magisk. Okay, now I don't think I can have this display on when I'm in that mode, so, I'll try to describe what I'm doing and hold my phone to the camera to give you guys an idea what's happening. So I need to get into fast boot mode. You can be fancy and use a command to do it in terminal, but yeah, I'm just going to use the button combinations for this. Normally if I just go here, go to restart, and then hold down the volume down button, it'll take me into fast boot mode. Alright, let's see if I can share my screen here. Most likely no. Nope, I cannot do it. That's fine. I'll try to flash it towards the screen. So, this is what my phone looks like in fast boot mode. I know on a stream you probably can't read everything that's here, so I'll try to describe what's going on. I just want to let you know that seeing a black screen like this with some white text and some glare, it's normal. So it looks like if you're here, you got it right. Now it just says here, device state is locked, but it's also telling me that it's unlockable. So now that I'm in fast boot mode, let me try to send the command over to actually unlock the bootloader. Let's see here. Where are my files? Let's see here. Android Platform Tools. Where's my Android Platform Tools? Oh, there it is. Oh, sorry, I should have showed this site earlier. Android Platform Tools. You're going to need this when you're trying to unlock your bootloader. At least if your phone supports fast boot mode. Pixels support this mode. Xiaomi devices support this. Oh, what else? I think one of the other ones. OnePlus is that they support fast boot mode as well, so the process is probably similar to this. Moto, what can I say about Moto? I think they're very similar as well, but to actually unlock a bootloader, you need to get like a developer key or an unlock code directly from Motorola. So you can't just do what I'm doing. You would have to go send a request to them before you can start any of this. All right, so whenever you download Platform Tools, it's going to download a zip file to your computer. When you unzip that file, you see all this stuff in here. But let's go ahead and open a terminal here. All right, so let's see here. Fast boot, flashing unlock. I think this is still the command. It's been a while since I've done this for the Pixel 7. If it works, cool. Ah, okay, cool. It says okay and finished. Now, you don't see anything here yet. There's nothing here that tells you that the phone is unlocked, or the bootloader is unlocked, I mean. But on the screen, when the command is successfully sent, you get this long message here. And I'll read it off so you guys can understand it. I have a couple options here. I can choose to unlock the bootloader or do not unlock the bootloader. A lot of the text below here that you see over here, it's just a warning saying that if you unlock your bootloader, you will be able to install custom operating software on this device. Inherently, this is not secure, yada, yada, yada. I'm okay with this. I don't care. Since I know I'm rooting this, I know it's going to be insecure. I'm insecurity. Yeah, I know. Weird dad joke. I work in security, and I'm also the living form of insecurity. All right, so I'm going to choose the option to unlock the bootloader. Press the power button to confirm your choice. Bootloader is unlocked. I know, hard to read, but it's just letting me know here that my bootloader is officially unlocked. And when this happens, your phone is going to wipe itself. I'm just going to start the phone normally. Now, every time I start up the phone now, since the bootloader is unlocked, it's going to give you a warning message that, your bootloader is unlocked. Inherently, this is insecure. Verbiage like that. That's normal for any Android device that you do this to. And whenever this boots back up, I'll try to see if I can get the screen back up. Hey, Dean. How's it going? Well, you're welcome to sit around if you want. My son's actively awake right now, which is fine. He's welcome to walk around anywhere he wants. Now, since this is a live video, of course, this is going to take long overall. This is not one of those short form videos where everything's cut off. This is very true to life what's going on. Dean Mans, you can stick around, but you gotta stay a little bit quiet, okay, Big Mans? Yeah, cool. Alright, phone booted up after unlocking the bootloader. So if you see this, yes, the phone did wipe itself. That's normal. So before you do this, you should probably back up your stuff. But me, I'm working on a phone that I already don't really care about. Hey, Dean, what's going on?
I have this.
I know, that's Blaster.
Oh,
Alright, have fun, Big Mans.
thank you, Daddy.
Alright, now I'm just going to try to breeze through a lot of these steps. I'm not going to sign into my accounts or anything. I'm just going to skip all this so I can try to get the screen up for you guys. Yeah, I can't show it now. Dang. Okay. That's because USB debugging is not enabled.
It doesn't work.
We enabled it earlier to send the commands over, but after a wipe, it's not there anymore. Or it's disabled again since everything got wiped. Yep, it's just going through its normal processes right now. Dean, you can have a seat if you want, man. You don't have to stand here the whole time.
Well, it is a long time. But it's fucking toy.
Yes, you do got your toys.
It's my sister's.
I'm not going to copy anything over here. We're just going to try to skip all this. Normally, if this was a device I cared about, I would have the backups and I would try to restore everything.
Daddy,
Yes, Dean?
you turn back.
Oh, sorry, Dean. I'm in the middle of something on the computer right now.
Okay.
Did you want to try to ask Mommy to help you? You can try. Alright, skip. Let's go ahead and skip more of this. Alright, now we're at the main screen. This is good. Alright. Okay, USB debugging is enabled. Let's try to get this working. Can I get my screen? Nope. What did I do wrong? Let's see. Oh, I skipped the authorization screen. Okay, let's try this again. There we go. There's my authorization screen.
I just want to go. I press mine too.
There we go. Like,
I just want
okay.
to. But
So
I
now that we're here, you can see my screen.
just
Now you
want
can see
to.
what's going on. Looks like it's just going through its normal first boot setup stuff.
Daddy.
Yes, Dean? What's going on?
I think.
Can you please ask Mommy? Thank you. Alright, so back to developer options. Now you're going to notice OEM unlocking is grayed out, but it is allowed since I already unlocked the bootloader. USB debugging is here. That will come in handy later. Right, now we have a Android with an unlocked bootloader. What is next? Well, the next step is to...
Daddy, I look at my toy gun.
What was that, Dean?
I look at my toy gun.
Okay, you're welcome to do that. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, so what is the next step? Well, we need to patch a boot file and flash it to Pixel 7 to root it. I know, sounds complicated, but really it's not too difficult. Now, how do we kick off this process? Well, we would need first our firmware for the Pixel 7. Now, I already started downloading this earlier. Looks like the download's already done. Okay, cool. So, the firmware for all the Pixel devices, they're on the developers page for Google. So developers.google.com/android/images. Here I'm just scrolling down to the firmware section for the Pixel 7, and I'm grabbing the most recent one that's here. Now you should check what update you have on your device before you just randomly download any of these. Like I'm downloading the newest version here because that matches the current version that's on my phone right now. Last week I had the September update on there, so if I never updated, I would be downloading the September update instead. But now that we have this downloaded, now I can somewhat get to business here. Okay, where's my file? Oh, there it is. Okay. It's a zip file, but if we open it, it should extract itself. Alright, cool. Extract itself to downloads. Okay, there it is. Sorry, I'm just being blind all day today. Okay, so what exactly am I looking for? I'm looking for the init underscore boot file. Now here I'm in the folder, but you notice that init underscore boot file is not here. It's actually in here, so it's another file I have to extract. I don't know what it is about Google, but when I download firmware from them, it seems slow overall. I can go to another website and downloads are blazing fast, but firmware files from Google seem a bit slow. It doesn't really matter, at least it's stable. When you try to download firmware for Xiaomi devices, it is both slow and unstable, which is just the worst. But, you can at least still get what you need. Okay, so this is extracted. Let's go ahead and open this. There is our init underscore boot file. So here, I'm just going to drag this over to my downloads folder, but you can drag this anywhere you need to. Alright, now that it's in my downloads folder, wait, is it actually here? Where'd we go? Now, I'm sorting by date modified, but it's weird. The init boot file shows up as Jan 1st, 2009. It's definitely not Jan 1st, 2009. Okay, now what do we need to do with this init underscore boot file? Well, I would need to send it to a device that has Magisk already installed on it. Now, that's just the Magisk app getting installed. It's not, you don't need to send this to another rooted Android. You just need to get the Magisk app installed on any Android, and then you can patch this file. I'm going to send it over to my Google Drive so I can access it from one of my other devices. So I already have a folder here that I made for Google Drive. Let's go ahead and send that over. Full send. Obviously, I'm a Pixel fanboy, so I'm going to be doing this off of another Pixel. Okay, so that's where I have my boot images. Now, I should actually show you guys what I mean by getting Magisk installed on another device. Alright, Magisk. Let's go to the main page. Alright, so Magisk official Magisk at least is sitting in GitHub. So if you go to Google and search for GitHub Magisk, it should take you to the right place. And I'll go with the stable release. I'm usually the type to go with Canary, but yeah, I'm using the current stable version of Android anyway. I'm not using the developer or the beta build, so I'll just stick with stable. All right, so if you go to the page for the latest stable, there's an APK here. You would download that on your other Android, or you can use the same one here. Like if I really wanted to, I could just do everything off of this Android that I'm already trying to root. But something about me is being lazy right now, because what I would have to do on this device, I would have to sign into Google Drive and add more accounts on there, and I'm just a little lazy for that. I have everything already done, mostly on my other device. Why did I do that? Let's see here. There we go. I'll just keep that there. But I'll be working off of one of my other Androids. I just want to quickly show you where the Magisk APK comes from. All right. Oh, hold on. Before I do anything, did that fully upload? Yes, it did fully upload. Okay. Yep, so I have the APK downloaded on my other device. Just installing it right now. Okay, done. You know what? I should just swap phones in here so you guys can see what I'm doing. Big brain. I don't have a big brain right now, but yeah. Okay. There we go. Now you guys can see what I'm doing on my Pixel, or the other Pixel that's actually up and running. Okay, so let's get into Google Drive. Google Drive. Where's all my stuff? Let's see here. All my Pixel stuff. Oh, there it is. Okay. I'm going to download this. I've tried running Magisk patching from Google Drive, and it just doesn't work. It lets you think that it works, but it actually doesn't. Okay, so now I have Magisk open. Sure, I'll allow notifications. Now this other Pixel, it's not rooted or anything. This is my main work phone. So let's just go ahead and go to install. Now here we get to select the init_boot file. Okay. Let's see here. Oh, I have multiples of them, of course. All right, let's go. Let's go ahead and patch that file. Okay, that's pretty much it. I'm going to unplug my phone right now. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to end up uploading this new patched file into Google Drive so I can get it on my computer. Now, technically, you can transfer everything using cable, but sometimes I like to show how things are done with cloud as well, just in case if you have a computer that, let's see here, some computers, I guess depending on where you work, they might disable USB storage on some of those ports, but allow everything else. So this is just another way of doing things, just to accomplish the same task. Okay. Sorry, I gotta upload that file. Okay, there we go. here's my patched file. Part of me thinks that this name is just long. Let me just change this real quick. Let's see here. 7 underscore. We'll just call it that for now. Alright, let's go ahead and download this. Download it anyway. Okay. I know. I have a couple terminal windows open. I think when you're doing this on your own, you don't need this one over here. For me, this is just the one that I'm using to help share my screen. Terminal window here. This is for actual platform tools. Now on a Windows computer, you'll probably notice or know this as like the command prompt or the PowerShell window. Here, I'm using a Linux operating system, and it's just called Terminal. Okay. Let's get my... I don't think I really need to share my screen right now. At least on my phone. Oh yeah, I'm supposed to get into fast boot mode. What am I thinking? Sorry about that, guys. So on my Pixel 7 that I'm actually trying to root, I need to bring that back into fast boot mode. So similar to what I did earlier, I'm just going to restart my phone. Oh, I forgot. I wiped it. So when I hold the power button, it brings up Digital Assistant. I freaking hate that thing by default. I'd rather have my power menu for my power button. Okay. So I'm just going to restart, get into fast boot mode. Okay, I am in fast boot mode. Did I already download this? Oh, let me check my downloads folder. Should be there if I already did. No, I did not download this. Okay. Alright, let's download the JISC file. So it's a patched version of this init_boot file. So let me go ahead and get this downloaded on my computer. Yes, I laugh in the face of danger. Download it anyway. Oh, I did download it. I was just being blind again. It's probably way too late. That's probably why I'm being like that. Okay. Now I'm gonna move this to the root to the folder that I have all my stuff for platform tools. That just makes it easier for me to work in the terminal. You can always do a cd command to change directories if you want, but I like to keep everything kind of the same. Okay, let's go ahead and flash this. Now, do I remember this command? We will find out. Will it blend? That is the question. If you guys remember that, cool. All right. Go. All right, cool. Looks like it already took care of it. You can always send in the command here as well to reboot your phone, but I'm just going to reboot it the regular normie way by just using the phone itself. Start. Now normally, if I'm not running my mouth the whole time or dealing with any random kids that are floating around, rooting an Android really doesn't take that long. I think now you see how long has it been? Probably like more than half an hour, somewhere around there. That's because I'm running my mouth and dealing with other stuff in the background and then trying to explain things as I go along. But really, when you know exactly what you need to do, this could be as fast as 10 minutes, even less if you're just flying through everything. Okay, let's see here. I should share my screen again so you guys can actually see what's going on. Okay, phone has booted up after flashing Magisk. So if I try to open the Magisk app, upgrade to full Magisk to finish the setup. Yes, we do want to do this. Okay, now Magisk is fully colored now. Requires additional setup. Your device needs additional setup for Magisk to work properly. Do you want to proceed and reboot? Yes, unfortunately we have to. If we don't do it, we're not going to get anything out of this. You probably noticed there's a lot of rebooting and shuffling things around. But by now, we actually have a rooted Android. You could stop here and just, be on your merry way and just say that you have a rooted Android, but we're going to have fun with a bit of spoofing, so we got to do a little bit more setup for that to work properly. Alright, phone has rebooted. Let's reshare our screen. Okay. Go back to Magisk. Alright, looks like we got some confirmation here. Installed. Version 29. Zajisk, no, we need to make that yes. And we can go ahead and take care of that. Alright, settings. Systemless host. Eventually I'm going to end up using ad blockers on here anyway, so I will have that on. And we will turn on Zajisk. Reboot to apply changes. Of course, hashtag another one. We are rebooting again. Restart. Now, Zajisk is part of that whole thing with trying to hide root, which will become important just because Pokemon Go. Okay, I do apologize. Random internet issues throughout the night. It's a weird night. I swear the last time I live streamed myself doing some work, there were no internet issues at all. But that's just because Comcast has a monopoly in my area, so I have to get Comcast. AT&T, yeah, AT&T kind of burned me in the past, but they're not in my neighborhood anymore. But even if they were, I'd probably still be on the Comcast gravy train. Ah, okay. Phone already restarted. All right. Here, go back to Magisk. Now might be a good time to double check to see if Pokemon Go runs. Because, you kind of want to do this step by step. Because now that you have root, and then now you have Magisk enabled, you have Magisk installed, you have Zajisk enabled, we should check if Pokemon Go actually works here. Because if it doesn't, then you have to fix those things before you move on to even think about, or before you can think about setting up your phone for spoofing. So let's go to Chrome, and we'll go without an account for now. Now, usually you would be going to the Play Store to do this, but I haven't signed into any of my accounts, and it's going to ask me. And yeah, I just don't want to do it right now. So we're going to go to APK Mirror. APK for now, hopefully they still allow me to do this. Let's see here. Give me the most recent version. Come on, guys. And this is why I want ad blockers, so I get rid of this kind of stuff. Oh, I have to get the APK Mirror app for this? Ah, dang, they're gonna make me sign in, aren't they? Okay, looks like I'm gonna have to throw in the towel and actually sign into my account. I'll at least get this. Yay, downloading file. Well, I guess if I have to sign in anyway, I don't really need to do this. But it's like, I've gone too far. Okay, let's unplug this for now. Let me sign into my stuff. Two-step verification. Alright, yes, I am trying to sign in. Like, no, your eyes do not deceive you. I do have a pink case for my Pixel. Nope, I'm not going to back up anything right now. Use password. Okay. I'll just get Pokemon Go from the Play Store. I'm pretty sure I don't really need to share my screen to show you guys how to install Pokemon Go. That's pretty straightforward. I think by now, if you're watching something like this, you already know how to do that stuff. Okay, let's see if Pokemon Go is installed. I'm just going to do a test sign in over here and try to use one of my trap accounts. Do I still remember those accounts? Hmm. I actually got it right. Okay. It's actually working. No, I don't want to allow notifications. Sure, you can have access to my location, because you have to. Yes, I shall accept the terms of service. Well, it's been a while since I've signed into this account. So, obviously, empty area. Well, just share my screen. Yeah, empty area. It's just one of my trap accounts. Don't really care what happens to this one, so that's why there's no censorship. Okay, So we are in good shape right now. We are running a rooted Android, and we can still get into Pokemon Go. That's actually pretty good so far. We haven't ran into too many hiccups here. Now, to get the whole spoofing thing in, we're going to need to install the LSPOS module, or I think that's what they call it. But the original LSPOS module, that thing is severely out of date. So if you try to run it on modern Android, you might run into issues doing that. So I'm going to try to use one of the forked versions of it. I believe it's called ReLSPOS, and it's also in GitHub as well. So let's try to find this. Yeah, sure. I'll get notifications from you. Cancel. We don't want that. All right. Is that the one? Yeah, it probably is. Forked from Gmage. Yeah, that name sounds familiar. Sure, we'll just install this questionable software without thinking about it. All right. Get that installed. We'll get our stable. The debug version, it's like, I'll mess around with that if I feel like being in developer mode, but I'm just trying to do the least amount of work, so we're going with stable. Alright, so now we downloaded the LSPOS module. Let's get that installed. So we go to Magisk, go to modules, and then we're going to install what we just downloaded. Yes, we do want to install this. Now, what is the point of installing this? By using this LSPOS module, we can install like an add-on that allows us to hide mob location. So that's the point of doing this. All right, reboot. Okay. We are fully rebooted. Alright, so here we are. LSPOS module is loaded. Good sign so far. Let's run this. Okay, welcome to LSPOS. Okay, thank you. Thank you, guys. 0 modules enabled. That's fine. We are looking for something in the repository. Let's see here. Hide mock location. Is this the one I want? Hold on. The pie monster. Yes, that is the one I want. Alright, we'll follow the link to GitHub. And we'll download this. Now, since this is an APK file, so we're not going to Magisk to install this. We're just gonna open it up and use the default install tools. Yes, Chrome, please install this. Alright, cool. Now that that's installed, we'll go back to LSPOS. Yeah, it's telling us right here that it's installed but not activated yet. So we have to activate that in this LSPOS. Yes, we do want to enable this module. Now, if you notice, if you scroll through here, you're not going to see Pokemon Go in this list. That's because games are hidden. So we have to uncheck this box so we allow games to be shown. Okay. So that should be done, but we should test if we get into Pokemon Go, because now we've already confirmed that we can get into Pokemon Go after rooting, but now we added a module. We added LSPOS, and we added the hide mock location module as well. Let me get rid of that. Let's start fresh. Let's clear all that. Okay. Let's see how we do. And instant ban. No, I don't want your notifications. Cool. We can still get into the game. Sure, go ahead and use my camera. Okay, mill tank. Looking nice and thick right now. Okay, so it looks like it's working. That's cool. Alright, so we are still in good shape right now. Now you get to pick your poison, which means you get to pick which spoofing application you want to use. Now, I think in a lot of my older videos, and even in my last live stream, you guys saw me using a different spoofing application. But I think I mentioned in that last live stream that I have not optimized that app for Android 15 or 16. This is a Pixel. It has the most recent version of Android, so it's not going to be optimized for this. So I'm going to try to use one of the well-known spoofing applications. It's GPS Joystick, and the developer is the App Ninjas. Normally, I would say go to the Play Store for that, but I think what that developer's been doing is that he has like a more functional one, or one that has more features on his website. So I'm just going to go to Chrome, or go to Google, search it up. All right. So here's his main website. Let's see here. There we go. 64-bit. I don't think many people need this other one anymore. That's for 32-bit versions of Android. Now, Pokemon Go is a 64-bit application. I think they stopped supporting 32-bit, so they're exclusively 64 now. So if you're running a version of Android that's 32-bit, I don't think you can actually run the game. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. It's been a while since I've checked in on that. But let's go ahead and install GPS Joystick. Unsafe app! Oh my god! We're going to install it anyway. We know what this app is. Now, in real life, if you install something and you see that message and you really don't know what that app is, do not install it. Alright, done. Okay, now GPS Joystick, since I'm semi-paranoid, I am going to enable privacy mode on that, and that just gives the installed application a different name on the system. We'll call this Dennis Joystick. Now this will create like a randomized app folder for it on the system. Oh, enter doesn't work. You have to actually click start. Yes, I do want you to install this. Yes, please install this unsafe app. No, don't send for verification. Alright, we done there. So this we can just try to uninstall the original one. Okay. Oh, that's there. Alright, sorry about that. Let me check in on this. I'm just gonna unplug for a second. Let's see here. Sorry, I'm checking in on my location settings over here. Where are my location settings? That's just permissions, location services. Oh, here we go. Sorry about that. Let's go ahead and reshare. All this stuff about location services, normally I turn all these off on my spoofing devices. Location accuracy. We don't need that. We're not here for accuracy anyway. Okay, scanning's off. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Alright, so we have our spoofing app installed. We have LSPOS installed. Now we need to set up our spoofing app. So here we would need to go to developer options. Oh, wrong one. I did not want that. We need to scroll down to mock locations. Normally I do these settings as well, but we're just demoing off root stuff and spoofing stuff. Mock location app. There we go. Oh, I should go back in there. This is the randomized app name that I was talking about that gets used for this. A bit of Pokemon Go history. There used to be a black list that if you had certain apps installed on your phone, it would not let you start the game. Now, people were confused about that message. They thought that they were instantly banned for having those applications on their phone. No, it was just a blacklist that prevented you from running the game if it detected certain apps on your phone. So this is where this whole thing with privacy mode came from. It randomized this system app right here because this is just a display name right here where it says Dennis GPS joystick. That's just a display name. It's not the app name that the system recognizes. Or I think I'm getting way too into the weeds with this one. Let's just go backwards for a second. We picked our mock location app and it shows up here. That's cool. Let's open this up. Yes, I accept your terms. I'm not on Facebook right now, so no, we cancel that. No, I'm not going to rate right now. Let's see, it's been a while since I've used GPS joysticks, since I've always been using the other ones. Let's go through setup for a second. Let's see here. Yeah, let's set a location. I don't know why this starts you off in the middle of the ocean. It just does that. I've always noticed that it just does that. And you know where I'm going. I'm going to Pier 39, where all the other spoofers go. Now, it was definitely cool when I had a chance to hug my surfer girl there. If you're a spoofer, you know exactly who I'm talking about. I actually got to go to Pier 39 IRL and grab that lady by the hip. Did I look like a creep? Of course I looked like a creep. But the spoofers know. The normies don't. Okay. So I'm going to do that there. I want to see if there's any other settings here I need to change. Because in the other spoofing apps, I changed quite a bit of settings to make the mock location a bit more stable. I'm not going to... You know what? I will change this. I'm trying to mimic similar settings that I have in one of the other spoofing apps. Now, what I just did, does it actually matter? I really don't know. It's just stuff that I do. So, but if you went in and started spoofing your location and you didn't do this, I highly doubt it's going to make a difference on your end. Well, let's see. Draw permission for Oh, this is like overlay permissions. Okay. Go to settings. Yes, we do want to allow this. Access denied. Oh, this is new. This just means I have to go to the app itself. And then we will allow other privileges to it. Sorry, I'm trying to get to the app settings area. Go to apps. Let's go to this one. Allow restricted settings. We will allow that, or we shall allow that. All right, start. All right, now when we go here, now we're allowed to do that. Start. Yes, I want notifications allowed. This is just initial setup jitters. That's why you see all this back and forth. Normally I see a GPS dot here. I don't see that right now. But let's see if it works. And if it doesn't, I'll be back for a part 2 to show that this does actually work. There we are, Pier 39. Walk around. I'm not sure if I like this new layout for a GPS joystick. I remember it used to be just a joystick with little circles around the joystick itself. It didn't have the separated thing over here, but maybe that's just a layout thing that I can change later. So, I'm not too bent out of shape about it. Alright, this is cool. What do I have in this account? It's been a while. I have a bunch of random stuff here. One empty slot. Let's see here. One egg there. Okay. And although you see me controlling everything with my mouse and keyboard, playing Pokemon Go using a mouse is pretty hard. Well, since I saw a Miltank earlier, I can safely say that no, I am not shadow banned. I wonder if shadow banning is still even a thing. Yeah, it shows how much I actually know. Pumpkaboo? Let's see here. Not shiny? Okay, I'm just gonna run away. Okay, guys. I think that's gonna wrap up today's live stream. So, what did we do today? We learned how, at least generally, we learned how to root an Android device. The process that you guys saw today, it's going to be very similar to other Android devices. Just on Pixels, it's pretty standard to use Fastboot to do all this. And I think I'd mentioned earlier, OnePlus also supports Fastboot mode. And then the Xiaomi devices, whether it's Xiaomi directly or if it's Redmi or Poco, you can follow something similar as this. And then I think I did, yeah, I did show you guys how to take the init boot image file from firmware, and then you patch that in the JISC, and then you flash it on your spoofing phone. So that's all taken care of. But a lot of this, it is confusing. I mean, I've been doing this for a while, so to me, I'm just kind of going through this casually. That just comes with time. I mean, this whole thing with rooting phones and mock locations, I've been doing this well before Pokemon Go even came out. I mean, mock locations is not new. The game is new. But, I think that will be it for today. I'm just going to turn in for the night, and when will I see everyone again? Oh, sorry, pressed the wrong buttons. When will I see everyone again? Hard to tell. I've been having fun with live streaming, but what will I be live streaming? Probably random work stuff. Anyway, it is late in my area, so I'm going to turn in